great. Well, everyone, greetings. I'm so glad to see you. I hope you're having a gorgeous day like I am. It's warm, but very pretty, and look at Italy today. And I'm looking forward to welcoming you to Italy here pretty quick. So let's see. I see there are two people. There we go. So let's begin by introducing ourselves. And maybe we can say also what interests us about the way of St. Francis. So our name and talk about this in our minds and our hearts. And hi, Susan and Damon, also welcome. So I start, and then next follow after me. I'm Sandy Brown. I walked the way of St. Francis first in 2013. In 2014, I wrote a guidebook about it. I originally walked because a friend of mine who I walk with many times said, "Hey, I'm getting tired of Spain. Let's go trade our allegiance to St. James to St. Francis, and maybe St. James won't mind if we do it for 1 year." And so almost every year since then, I've been back to Italy and I've walked the trail 6 or 8 times. I haven't really counted. I wrote a guidebook that's been through 3 printings, and the new edition will come out in January. So I love this trail. I love to walk on this trail with people. And um, I also like to share the stories of St. Francis in the context where the stories happen. Now, let me just say a word too. I have a form of ALS that's not terminal, but it has attacked my mouth area. And so I'm fine. I just speak slowly. So hopefully you'll get used to that. And I just ask for your patience. So who'd like to be next? Go ahead, raise your hand and begin. Okay, Evie.
Yeah, I'm Evie Gable and I live in the Denver area. And so this will be my first pilgrimage or trek in Europe.
Uh-huh.
Um, and St. Francis is my favorite saint because he's the patron saint of animals. And I love Italy, and I would love to do the Camino, but I don't want to deal with all the people. And I thought Italy would be much better because there'd be less people, beautiful scenery, and awesome food. So I am looking forward to this.
That is so great. You hit all the right notes. St. Francis scenery and food. That's great. Welcome, Evie. Who's next? Go ahead. And,
I'll go.
Nancy.
My name's Nancy. I live on the Oregon coast,
Hmm,
central Oregon coast.
okay.
Um, I walked the Camino in 2015, and it was like the biggest experience of my life. And then I heard about Sandy and the Way of St. Francis, and I've been trying to go on this trip ever since. So as soon as we got our bills yesterday, I sent my money. It's going to happen this time. So I cannot tell you how thrilled I am. I've been reading everything I can get my hands on about St. Francis. I I love walking and being in nature more than I can find words for. And I've recently joined a hiking group and discovered that I really enjoy walking with a group of people, which surprised the heck out of me.
Huh.
I went on my Camino by myself and of course met people. So I'm really looking forward to the group experience as well as the walking all day, every day, and then eating amazing food and connecting a little bit with my Italian heritage. So I'm excited.
Austin, I can't believe we're finally meeting.
I know.
It's been many years. Yeah, okay, who's next? Yeah, Susan.
I am from, well, actually, originally not too far from where Sandy came from, but Southern California. I was born in Orange County, but moved 34 years ago to Alabama, which I thought was beyond the edge of the earth, and found it to be home in the long run. So I am not a very physically oriented person. And so I've had to work extra hard at it. And of course, weight has always been a problem and having to struggle with shame and so forth. But I've found that, you know, when you press in and try really hard, you can overcome a lot of those things. And so in 2017, I joined a group of women who were taking multiple trips to Spain for the Camino de Santiago. And we went 4 times and traveled in segments because most of us had day jobs and we couldn't take off for a month, you know, or 6 weeks that it would take. So I found a new pleasure uh, in traveling, which I'd done all my life, but there's nothing like walking through a country. And so I finished in 2022 and found that life had less meaning, less excitement, less goals, and I need to have those goals in order to stay healthy and strong. So I found the Pilgrim's Path and got excited, and I don't know that I can do it, but I'm certainly going to try, and I hope that together we'll figure out a way. But yes, I'm working out and getting strong and looking forward to the trip.
Susan, thank you so much. And our job is to help you make it. And so, uh, and so I look forward to meeting you, walking with you, and watching you overcome any concerns along
Okay.
the way, and then proclaim victory at the end.
Yes.
So
Yes.
do it together. Who's next? Is it going to be Laura? I
Well,
say
I can go next, but I was also going to maybe help. Is it Patrick?
yeah.
Yes,
Help you to flip your camera.
please,
Okay, if
please.
you go down to
Yes,
where you stop the video. Let's
right.
see if this works. And there's a little tiny up arrow next to it. If you
Yeah,
click
got it.
on
I'm
that,
on it.
okay. At the bottom, it says video setting.
Yep,
Click on that.
yep, on that.
Okay, then on the picture of you up in the corner, there's a little box that says
Oh,
rotate.
yes, I didn't know that, but I was looking for, I think that's okay. One more time.
One more time.
Beautiful. And is it ready?
There!
Yeah,
Yay.
thank you so much. The headache's gone. Oh, it was just getting bad.
I know. I just Googled how do you fix that, and there was like 3 steps. So it wasn't.
Thank you.
Yes. So welcome, right side up, Patrick.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll go. I am Laura Harris, and in fact, I am working for Pilgrim's Path as a host for some other walks. And I'm going to be doing another walk in Italy right after this one with a group of women, and hopefully doing some walks next spring. But wanted a chance to just kind of see how Sandy does it and get to walk with him and all of you on this round. So I'm coming as a participant. And I have walked many Caminos kind of all over Europe over the last 10 years after doing an initial Way of St. Francis in 2013. So I've walked the Way of St. Francis. It was probably the most powerful walk I did for me. And I found out about it because I accidentally met Sandy's wife, Teresa, in a department store. Like she overheard me having a conversation about the Camino. And
Wow.
she's like, I'm sorry I'm eavesdropping, but my boyfriend just wrote a book about the Way of St. Francis. And I was like, well, what's that? And got online, ordered the book, and went a few years later. I went in 2018. And I went in the month of November by myself, and it was just a silent retreat for a month because there were no other pilgrims and I didn't speak Italian. And just the connection with St. Francis and St. Clare for me were so profound that I always wanted to go back. I've done other walks, and I'm excited to get to go back and do this one again.
I'm excited too, Laura. And you did mention that we saw each other in Simi Valley, California, where we were both walking the California Missions Trail. And we just ran into each other. It was great. I'm excited for you coming on board, Laura, and excited for those who are joining the groups that you are leading. So you're a great personality. Would be a great resource in these trips, which that means the next person to speak should be Patrick.
All right, my name's Patrick. I am a native of Arizona, born in Phoenix, and now live in Flagstaff. I've been in Flagstaff for about 20 years. I am a secular Franciscan, and so Francis is a very close place in my heart, and try to follow that way as best possible. I don't wear anything brown or any cords hanging off. I just live in a secular world and try to live the life of St. Francis as best possible. I went on the Camino di Francesco last year, and just a profound experience for me, being in places where Francis was. It's kind of like in a way going to your grandma's house or your grandpa's house, and just like, oh, it feels so good to be there. And so it was very important for me to be in places to touch and to experience interiorly a presence of a great saint. So just enjoy that so much. And now, like Laura, I'm hopefully hosting down the road the following year the same Camino di Francesco, hopefully from Florence all the way to Rome, little by little. And love hiking, love the outdoors, love people, and I think that might be enough right now. Thank you. Excited.
That's great. And I should just say, I became a brother with you as we walked together from Assisi to Rome. And Patrick took some of the storytelling duties in that community. I saw in Patrick a storyteller. And so I'm really excited, Patrick, for you to join us on this half of the walk and then to lead groups next year in September and October. And Laura's leading in the spring of next year. So we have walks in the spring and fall. Welcome, Patrick.
Thank you.
Of Patrick.
It's so nice to see all you as well. I'm excited for this.
For sure. Who's next? Who's ready to go? Where's that?
Hi, my name is Roseanne Martinez, and I live in Tacoma, Washington, and I'm newly retired. And I have had it as part of my vision for a long time to do some kind of Camino. And I think I heard Sandy Brown speak in maybe 2015. I had already seen the cliche movie The Way, and I went to the Seattle University book fair. I think you were there, Sandy. And I thought, oh, well, I'm doing the Way of St. Francis because I'm not going to do the Camino de Santiago with everybody else. I'm going to do it alone from Florence to Rome. And as I started to think through the trek and using pilgrim paths, I thought, well, maybe I should not be so excited to be solo as my inner anxiety came out. I thought, well, I could maybe split half and half. So my plan is to be with the group trek to Assisi, and then to use pilgrim paths in supporting me through my solo trek all the way to Florence. I'm a avid hiker. These distances every day for 30 days are not something I'm used to, so I'm trying to get my miles up. And I am using this journey as a way, I'm reading a lot of Richard Rohr's work right now, and falling upward has been very significant. So I'm using this journey as a way to kind of re-examine my life, who I've been. I've been a social worker for 44 years in a variety of settings. And I'm really being pretty purposeful about what this transition means to this. And some people have laughed, maybe I'll start walking and not stop. Kind of be just Forrest Gump, keep going. But I don't know how far I can get. I'll probably have to cross a few bodies of water if I'm going to keep walking. But anyway, I'm excited to be part of this group, and continuing this summer my preparation so that I'm ready, and excited to explore more of St. Francis and St. Clare and the messages they might have for me in this next stage of my life. You know, we make plans and then things happen. So I'm eager and open for that too. So glad to be joining you all. Thank you.
This was welcome. And we've met only on Zoom, but I'm looking forward to meeting you in person and walking with you for those 2+ weeks. And then I think it's Joanne and Damon are the ones left. And Joanne, you got your haircut since I
She did, yeah.
started.
We went to Aruba and she decided to get a haircut.
Good, thanks, super. Go ahead, introduce yourselves to us, dear
Well,
friend.
yeah, hello. Yeah, we're Damon and Joanne. We live in Wisconsin. We retired about 2.5 years ago. And my hiking background started about 10 years ago, doing this thing called the Camino de Santiago. So we've done the French route twice, the Portuguese route once. We hiked with Sandy 2 years ago now, going from Assisi to Rome. We've done the section of the Via Francigena. I've also done the John Muir Trail in the US and the Tour de Mont Blanc in Switzerland, France, and Italy. I kind of just fell into hiking. Growing up, I knew nobody that hiked. But once you start hiking, you do get it in your system, and you gotta keep going, gotta keep hiking. The gentleman before was saying he's a secular Franciscan. I think your parents, Joanne's parents, were secular Franciscans. And being a good Catholic family, she also has 2 sisters there in the Franciscan order.
They're retired.
They're retired now, yeah.
And I have a brother that's a deacon that just retired.
Yeah.
Ah.
So nice to meet you all. We'll be coming from, I think, Venice to meet you in Florence. So we're doing a little trip before the hike and then a little trip after the hike.
We're going
So,
to be gone from home for 7 weeks. So
yeah,
Wow.
so it's going to be quite the adventure.
You two are some kind of travelers. Just keeping up with them on Facebook is quite the job. So, John, anything to add that Damon missed?
no, we met you on one of our hikes
We did on the
where
Via
Damon was
Francigena. Yeah.
not having enough water and you gave him water to get him through.
It was funny part of that is I was talking to you on and off Facebook, of course, because you were the guy everyone asked questions to. And we
You
get
were
to
sick.
yeah, we get to the hotel and I was like, "What was that guy's name?" And she's like, "What was the color?" I said, "Was it Sandy Brown?" Because
I said
that's
it's an unusual name.
I was like, "Wait a minute, he's the guy that I was asking all the questions to because he has all the answers."
Well, people should know you were sick that day, and then
Yeah, I got the stomach flu. Yeah.
yeah, you're on the trail to either Boston or Montefiascone, and you're dying of thirst. And so I emptied my water bottle into your water bottle. It was hilarious. And I'm glad I had water to help and that you survived, Jamie.
Yeah, I survived.
Yeah.
I had to lay down on the side of the road every hour and take a nap, but I survived.
Yeah, I'm so glad you checked in Seattle too. We had a beautiful dinner at the Edgewater Hotel one night, very memorable. Well, welcome everyone. I'm so glad you are here, and it's exciting as I look ahead to my calendar and I see this walk on my calendar. And that's partly because of you, partly because of St. Francis, and partly because Teresa, my wife, will be joining us. And so you get to meet her too. And she's the fun one of the family. So she's a crack up. She couldn't be here tonight, but you'll love her.
So yoga instructions included in the hike.
She's retired, but she might share some of her wisdom after being a yoga studio owner and a yoga master teacher for 30 years. Okay, let's go ahead and dig into our agenda for tonight. I have just sent you a link to our group resource page, which I will also show you here on the screen. So this web page is just for us. It's public, but it's not searchable. And it has resources for our walk. I want to go through them with you. And the first is you can see this map of our route. On the page, if you click this of the map, then you'll get an actual interactive map of our route. And so this is Florence. This is Assisi down here. And we just have to walk from here to here. So it's pretty straightforward. But look at the chart below. And you see the elevations of this wall. So this is day one. see that right at the very bottom? That's the last flat ground that we see for a little while. And then we come 1, 2, 3, 4 major significant hills in the area of about 3,000 feet. So some of these hills are pretty steep. It takes us uh, about 2 days to get here. This is another 2 days. And then this is the high point of our walk at St. Francis Retreat at Santuario della Verna, which is easily one of the holiest and most spiritual places in Italy or maybe in the world. There's a convent at the top. This was given to St. Francis 800 years ago, and it's operated last 800 years as a convent retreat for the Franciscans. Then we go down all in one day. We climb some hills and we have up and down hills until we get to Assisi. All this green is forests and parks. And you see a river here, that's the Tiber River that goes to Rome. And you see a river here, that's the Arno River that goes to Florence. These are the Apennine Mountains here. So all the area where we will be is predominantly woods, forests, and mountains. This is the valley area, and this is valley here, and this is valley here. But we're crossing along the slopes of mountains. So it's a really good thing to exercise and get in shape for this walk. And the more you are conditioned for the climbing, the better experience you will have in this area in particular. I want to say also, though, that you have wisely chosen to have the service of a van and driver. So, what we have started doing is every day at 3:30 we have a pickup point. And so even though some of these walks are in the neighborhood of 25 to 30K or about 18 to 22 miles, we give you the option of getting in the van at a standardized time so you have time to enjoy the town where we're staying. You can do laundry, go out for an aperitivo, and enjoy yourself. So what I have here is the official route. We also have with us a guide who is from this era. In fact, Giovanni Ramaccioni lives here in San Francisco. He grew up walking these mountains, and he's quite an expert at this area. So every day when we walk, for instance, here, and you can see, you can follow this symbol. Every day when we walk, like day 2, we began a climb, and the van is available to shorten the climbing for us, not just at 3:30, but also anytime we feel like we're done. Also, if you want, you can take a day off or 2 or 3 days off and go with the van, which is transport our luggage as well. So the objective and something you pay for by virtue of paying for this trip is an expert guide, local guide, a person who knows the route well, and a driver are at your disposal. So we feel that if you're in good health and you want to do it, then we can help make it all happen for you. Now, typically what happens in the day is there are slower people and faster people. The guy walks in the front of the group unless the people are faster than the guide, in which case the guide is in the middle of the group. The host is in the back of the group working as sweep. Sweep is the one that makes sure no one gets left behind. And I'm usually the sweep. So if you're slow in the speed department, you and I will get to know each other very, very well. And
And
that's
Sandy always has chips, by the way.
that's right. That's right. And by the way, Damon and Joanne, I've walked with them and they're great walkers. They are ever ready bunnies. They never stop. So that's the way it works. Our objective is for everyone to get in by 4 o'clock every night. Dinner is at 7, and then we wake up the next day. Typically, breakfast is at 7, and we depart at 8. So 7 or 8 hours of hiking every day. Now, Giovanni, being an expert at this area, he knows a few other paths. And so, for instance, there's a gorgeous way to get to Laverna that involves taking a route from up here and going north to south along a ridge line. It's a great way to go, and um, and that would be Giovanni's suggestion for us. Now, another thing that's a little different is see how we go from this area, although directly to a city. Instead of staying overnight here, we're going to transfer to Perugia because Perugia also has a role in Francis's life. Not a proud role, but it was an important city during his lifetime. So we transfer them, then not we walk to South Africa. We enjoy Perugia for an evening and one of the gorgeous cities of Umbria. Then we transfer back to South Africa and we'll walk to Assisi.
Hey, Sandy, in Perugia, will I have time to check out some wineries?
Some wineries in Perugia.
Yeah,
There probably are some. I don't know of them inside of Perugia.
right. They're usually outside of the city. Yep.
Yeah. You will find some wineries. In fact, up here, Tim, and you're such a winophile. Up here is the Frescobaldi right here, and the castle of Nippozano. This entire area is Chianti.
Yep, in the Tuscan area. Yep.
Exactly. So, yeah,
Okay.
there's some opportunities. And Jill would be a great guy for you in that respect as well. So this map is available to you, and you can reference it as you uh, consider your walk ahead. Any questions on that? Okay, we can come back if you do have questions.
I did have Sandy, and that is, how do we get to that document?
Oh, okay. In the chat, look in the chat, and you can see a link. Do you see
Where's
the
my chat? Yeah, a
okay?
second, I gotta find my chat.
Yeah, go to the
There
ribbon
it is.
of links at the bottom. Press chat, and
Okay, I see it.
yeah, we have a website called Pilgrim Pass Client, and our group has a page on that website. And Laura and Patrick, your groups were awesome. So let's go back to that for a minute, and I'll share some of the other things there. So first is packing list. So on the packing list, essentially everyone brings a day bag and a suitcase. And on our last walk in France, we had a couple of people that brought the very large suitcases about 3.5 feet tall. And um, we do have a 40-pound limit, and that's not just for the baggage handler, the driver, it's for you, because our service is lobby to lobby. So that means if there's a 3-story climb, you're carrying your own suitcase up that 3 sets of stairs. There often are not elevators in hotels in Italy. So we really encourage people, even though there's baggage service, to pack light. And the best size is the airplane overhead size. And then your day pack can fit under the seat. If you do check your bag, uh, don't be tempted by the big bags that roll along. They're great in the airport, but they're really tough on a walk like this. So remember also the 40-pound limit. Then,
Sandy,
yeah,
is it okay to have a backpack instead of a suitcase for that extra bag?
yeah, you can. Uh, but you want to have a day pack too.
Right,
So
right.
then you are negotiating 2 backpacks, and that's a little complicated also, since we all only have one bag. So if your day pack fits into your backpack, that's pretty nice. But if you have to go through the airport with 2 backpacks, it may be tough. So I mean, Okay. So that's the packing list. There's a training guide here also. And you're probably already done with your training and in peak physical condition. So ignore this part. But it's available for you. At least to consider its wisdom. Then we'll have a recording of this session that will be posted to Facebook, to YouTube, and the link will be here in case you want to go back. There's a list of the participants: Eric, Damon, John, Susan, Teresa, May, Patrick, everybody is here except Teresa. And then here's our lodging list. And so I don't have the addresses and websites locked, but we don't want it to be any secret. A couple of things I will point out to you. Hotel executive is in the automobile zone of Florence, very near and easy walking distance from Santa Maria Novella train station. This is a in Ponticelli. It's a very cute villa in the countryside. This is an agritourism. And for both of these, there's a transfer involved in the van. This hotel called Toronto and still it's one of my favorite places. Locanda de Bruyne is a forced hotel. It's very special. But dear Patalia, we're outside of the town in a hotel at the Termite outside Anessa. I don't know this property, but I get excited whenever I see the word Termite, which means hot springs. So bring your swimsuit and you may find yourself wanting to take a dip. And so I won't go through all the hotels, but I want to point out there are 2 nights when we stay at the same hotel and we transfer to the start of the walk. And those are Città Castello and Gubbio. It's really nice not to have to pack one day. Just leave your things in your room and walk. Okay, so then we end up at Assisi, which is a nice hotel, just very near to Piazza Santa Clara. Okay, then I want to show you another resource. This is an app for your smartphone that has the tracks of our walk. We invested in putting the app together so that when you download it, oh, the link is not working right now. When you download, you can, I was gonna call it up. Let's see. Oh, wait, I got it. I'm gonna call it up so we can see what it looks like. And just a sec. Okay, I'm just gonna share my whole screen. Okay, so I'm at the app store and I'm just gonna search for Google Pass. There we go. And here's our app. So it's free. It's also on Google Play. You can download it. And when you do, use the um use the coupon code Francesco 2024 to get into the app. So that will allow us to navigate without having to download tracks and use a complicated software
So,
program. Answer,
so
yeah.
Sandy, in the video that you sent, you recommended one of two different GPS
Uh-huh.
downloads, but this replaces that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We decided to make life easier on our fellow
Easy is good.
by just downloading the app. It's all there and ready for you. So I tested with our last group in France and it was very helpful. They understood it quickly and they they even used it a couple of times to keep from getting lost. So I was sure the links on them. And Roseanne, I'll have it for you also from Assisi to Rome.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, it's a big help. Okay. That's the end of our structured program. Now is a Q&A time. I'll sit back, give my voice a rest, and you can take it away. What kind of questions do you have? Let me start by asking, when are you getting to Florence? I'm just interested to see what your plans are. Go ahead, whoever wants to talk.
I think I'm getting there the
Sandy?
day before, so I'm probably gonna need a hotel for one extra night. I think on both ends, but I can email Pilgrim Pass and ask for that.
Yeah, if you would, that'd be great. Thank you, Patrick. We're saying you were going to.
Yeah, thank you, Sandy. Thanks for making the arrangements for us. Nancy and I are going 2 nights earlier and spending some time touring around Florence. So should all our connections connections in travel make it, that's our plan. I don't know if you wanted to add anything, Nancy.
Nope, that's the plan. I just have to figure out how to get from Rome to Florence. I'll take a train.
Yeah,
Train.
the train is easiest. It's
Take the
a
fast train.
high speed, 2 hours, I think, 15
It's a,
minutes.
it's a nice ride.
Yeah. Well,
Do I
We'll be
need
there
to-
2 days also early. So if you wanna, if you guys are there, maybe we can hook up, have dinner, whatever. We'll be coming from, if I remember right, Vienna. So we'll be on our way over. But yeah, I've already talked to Rocky. Should I confirm that with her about the extra days again?
yeah, if you.
Okay. I'll fire off another email.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
You know, I haven't made my travel arrangements yet. That was part of what I needed to figure out in this meeting.
Mhm.
And so that's one area that I'm really lost. I'm really open to being flexible and, you know, I'd love to be able to see more while I'm there, but I don't know what to do in terms of travel. Anybody want to make suggestions? I'm very much open to that.
That's great. Well, if you just wanted to get to Florence, it's easiest in general to fly to a major airport almost anywhere in Europe. And then Florence has its own mid-sized airport with flights to all the capitals. So I don't know what major airport serves you in Alabama.
It would be Atlanta.
Okay. You can probably get a flight directly from Atlanta to Rome, and then you could either fly to Florence or take the train. And actually, it's a toss-up, but with check-in time, security, landing, baggage, it's almost easier to take the train for
Yeah.
that.
You may want to look at Charles de Gaulle too, Paris. The Olympics should be done by then, but that would be an option. Hey, Sandy, where is the Florence airport?
The Florence airport is west of town.
Okay, because we took the training last time.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
is a light rail shuttle train from the airport to central Florence, and it costs €1.50. So it's really super easy to get to
Okay,
the center. And Santa Novella is the main station for Florence, and that actually all the trains go and where the light rail ends up from the airport. So, yeah, you have all kinds of options getting to Florence. And then once you're at Assisi, there's a train station at the bottom of the hill, and you can take the train easily back to Florence, or you could go on to Rome if you want to continue. Or you could walk there with Roseanne. I guess.
yeah,
We've done that one.
yeah, we did with you.
That's right.
If you want, if you're looking at the train information going to Rome, we'll be going to Rome on the train from Assisi. We have to catch a flight to Iceland, so we'll be training it from Assisi to Rome to get over to the airport if anyone's interested.
Yeah.
Which day are you going back to Rome?
We're staying a couple days extra in Assisi, so I don't remember what exact date that is. I think we have 2 extra days on the back end also, because we love Assisi. It's a great
Yeah.
city.
So
And
yeah, I'm flying into Florence on Wednesday. So I have 2 extra nights in Florence, and I've
yeah,
talked
we
to Rocky.
yep.
And
I think we
I
do
have
too.
one- yeah. And then I have 1 extra night in the CC, and then I go to
Okay,
Rome.
I'm pretty sure we have 2. Let me double check.
Yeah.
Sorry, my travel planner.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
candy.
But hey, Susan,
Yes.
I have a direct flight on United Lufthansa from Denver to Munich, and then a
Oh,
flight
Munich.
from Munich to Florence.
To
So you could
Florence.
try looking at Frankfurt or Munich for connections.
Well, I'm pretty sure I can go Atlanta to Florence.
Okay.
So
You
with a
probably
stop
could. It's
in,
the hub, so
in
you're gonna have a lot of
yeah.
options.
Yeah, I think the hardest part for me is, do I arrive a day early? Is that going to be enough? Or there was an optional tour mentioned in the material, and I didn't know if there was a tour that had been decided afterward. And if so, how much more time do I need to take on the back end in order to get everything that's possible there? So those are the questions that I had for today,
They're
especially.
2 great cities as well. I mean, Florence is incredible. And you'll want to spend a couple days there, I would think. It's
You
just
do,
so
yeah.
beautiful. And Assisi is one of those towns just to relax in. You can walk
Yep.
Assisi in a day, but it's a great
You
town
could.
just to. I'd take a couple days with each one. You bet.
Thanks. That's what I needed. A little encouragement.
Yeah.
Yeah, we leave Assisi on the 17th. Okay, so we'll catch a train to Rome.
And when I come, I always try to come at least 2 days early to deal with jet lag, just to have
Well,
Good to
not
know.
only
couple
jet
days
lag,
to-
but
yeah.
if your flight is delayed or canceled, then you're not trying to catch
Yeah.
up with the.
Yeah.
yeah, in the next town or whatever. So, although I'm sure Sandy's dealt with that and worked it out, but nice to get there early.
Yeah,
Yes, good to
I
know.
agree about getting there early. And jet lag is the thing. And also, on Florence, people usually do either arrive early and have a couple of days, or they've been to Florence at some other point in their life. So we don't do a Florence tour anymore. Uh, Apologies if that's still out there. We can arrange a private tour for it though if you like. Now, in Assisi, many people have not been there yet, so we do a 2 hour tour in the morning of our departure.
Oh, okay.
So we have breakfast and then 10 to 12, we meet our tour guide and walk with her or him through a season. And what we have found is it takes about an hour to get through the Basilica of San Francisco. So that leaves enough time to walk to Basilica Santa Chiara. But that's only, the main sites of Assisi. In my guidebook, I have a walking tour of Assisi. So you can do that as a self-guided tour also. Takes about half a day. Um, so anyway, that's a way to approach a season. And the cost of the Assisi tour guide is included in the package. Yeah, great question. She's
Yeah.
just
For those of you that are there in Florence early, the Uffizi Museum is the bomb, but it takes a long time to get through it. It's I scheduled a half a day the last time we were there, and I could have easily spent another half day at the museum. So, might be something you want to look into.
that reminds me. Good thing to remember is that the main sites of Florence require reservations. So it's good to go to
Yep.
the website of the Uffizi or the Duomo, and you can get tickets for David the Uffizi, the Duomo Museum.
Yeah.
Something that's quieter but just as pretty as to walk up the bell tower at Florence instead of the Duomo.
You want to share how many steps there are up to that, Sandy?
I think 240.
It's
No, there's more than that, Sandy.
It's a lot of steps.
Training.
Or if you want to go to the top of the dome, it's a lot of steps. So
Yeah.
you're aware.
Yeah.
I thought it was more like 400 and some, if not more.
And the bell tower, you look right out at the level of the cupola of the Duomo. So everybody rushes to get to the Duomo too, but I think the bell tower is pretty impressive too. It's quite a bit older. Roseanne, I saw your hand up.
I'm going to change the subject a little bit, get back to the packing list and some of the details around. I know that the weather in Italy in the last several years, like many places in the world, has been extremely hot in the summer. And that's been some of the impetus for me going in the fall. So your predictions, Sandy, on what we can expect. I mean, I'm guessing cooler evenings and maybe a beanie cap for evening time, and maybe not those fun summer dresses that we would wear in the middle of July, but what's your sense? It's going to be darker earlier than the summer days. And so any advice on that packing list and those items we might want to have along that aren't on that?
Yeah. Well, I say first of all, you won't catch me in a summer dress and so secondly, I would say the hottest day of the year, the hottest day is July 15th, and then it gradually cools through August. And by September, instead of being scorching hot, it will be only very, very hot. So I would not be surprised if Florence is in the high 80s by the time we get there. Then we'll walk up into the mountains and our elevation will be pretty high. And then we'll see uh, daytime temperatures in the 70s. And so we'll be shaded much of the time after day 3 with some exceptions. But you should always have light clothes. You have layers in case. In fact, this spring has been cool in Italy. It just reached 90 today for the first time. I don't know if it's going to be a cool year, but yeah, I would be prepared for the low 90s in Florence and high 80s. So a summer dress would be okay for Florence. And then it will get cooler as we walk. And also something about Italy is it can rain any day of the year. So but usually when it rains in the summertime, it's for about an hour. And then it maybe will feel like we got an inch in that hour. I remember a rainstorm with Damon and Joanne, and it was buckets.
Yeah, it was.
So
Yeah, it was. That was one big storm.
yeah,
Can I ask a question about rain?
yeah.
I have a Altus very light rain poncho that goes over me and my pack.
Uh-huh.
And I also have a rain jacket and a rain skirt and rain pants.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know which of all of that would be most appropriate to bring.
Yeah, people had ponchos in France. I'm not a big poncho fan because I get hot inside. And then I want the poncho off because the heat inside almost more than I'm concerned about the rain outside. So I bring an umbrella, believe it or not, a trekking umbrella, a rain jacket, and rain shoes. So I have a second pair uh, of trail runners that is waterproof. I may not bring those for this walk, uh, but I did in France. I used them 2 days and I was happy to have them. That's Mike. Everyone has their own preferences.
Yeah, that umbrella you had on our walk seemed to work well for you. Might
Yeah.
give that a try myself.
Yeah, it's a funny thing, but in the downpour, an umbrella is great. And wind is not that great, but And an umbrella serves you also in sun. A trucking umbrella is your own shade of broken. So
Another question.
yeah,
Related to first aid, I'm going to have a full first aid kit because of my second part. But Pilgrim Paths, to what extent is any first aid kit service available on the trek? I mean, I'll have standard blister kits and those kinds of things, personal items, but what can we expect Pilgrim's Path to provide, if anything?
yeah, there's a big, like a tour chest size first aid kit in the van. So that's a few minutes, it might be an hour away from us if we're on a path. And so I'll show you my first aid kit. It's right here in the closet. I just got this size first aid kit. And it's basically for scraped knees and scratches and such like that. It's minimal, but as the last person in the trail, I'd like to have. This is my for this season. I haven't needed to open it yet. So,
Okay,
I
question.
will be, oh, I'm sorry, Nancy, I had a follow-up question. I will be purchasing evacuation and healthcare insurance. Is there any, and I have one company that I'm considering, does Pilgrim Paths have any recommendations for that kind of additional health insurance?
no, but that's a great question. We used to work with the Allianz, uh, and there are so many good ones out there.
Yeah.
To make a recommendation. I have a comparison review that I can send you if you like.
And me too.
Me too.
I'll send that out then. Okay, it's
Yeah,
yeah.
oh, I know because we travel quite a bit. I've actually gone to a annual plan for travel insurance. And there's basically two companies out there that do that. And then also, like you were saying, the evacuation, I use MedJet. I use MedJet. So thankfully, we've never had to use them, but when you need them, you need them.
Damon, could you put your name in the chat?
Sure, if I get the chat to work. You think I did this for a living, I would know how to do this, but
Yeah,
I have a question about hotel supplies. I
Uh-huh.
don't see anything about towels, shampoo, that kind of stuff. Do the hotels provide that, or do we provide that some of the time?
you will always have linens, and most hotels will have soap and a shampoo. I encourage you to buy something yourself when you get into the country. And the reason to wait to buy is the airplane only allows 3 ounces. And so if you just go to a supermarket or a health and beauty aid store or a pharmacy, you can get shampoo and soap in bigger quantities. But I always carry an extra couple of bottles of bath soap with me from the places that do supply it in case the next one doesn't have it. I would say 90% of the places we're seeing will have it.
What about towels for laundry and personal bodies?
Yeah, those are always provided within hotels. So, so it's
Okay.
always there. No. Yeah, 4%, unless you, uh, if you stay in hostels after a session, you would need to bring your own towel. So, and sleeping sack problem. But, okay. Thank you, Damon. You figured it out. Good job.
Yeah, when you retire, your brain goes with it. So I forgot how to do all this.
I'll learn to med jet. Okay.
Midjet, yep.
Do you want
And
to
it's more when we go to the Caribbean where the hospitals aren't really all that great. I kind of want to get back to the US if I have a big problem.
yeah.
Sandy, is there a way you can, if people are interested, to share our emails with each other? Because I do have an insurance product that I'm going to use, and I'm happy to share that with folks, but can't go get it right now.
I have made it a practice not to put email addresses online. But one thing we can do right away is start a WhatsApp group. And WhatsApp is widely used here. It's a texting service. And so we'll make a WhatsApp group right away if you like. And then we can share that way.
I just put my number on the chat.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll do that tonight. So,
Okay.
Create a group.
yeah.
Cool.
Can only create a group on your phone, so it's a little cumbersome, but it's a great thing to have. Thanks, Rosa.
Sorry,
Oh.
Nancy, I think I was interrupting you.
Okay. I'm so excited. I just can't hold myself back. I have a backpack question. I have a 22-liter pack, which is a really pretty color, so I like it, but it only has a 2-liter bladder, and I do drink a lot of water. So would you recommend me stepping up to a 24-liter pack with a 3-liter water bladder?
That's you. I mean, every time we see the van, we will have water available. We always carry big 1.5 liter containers of water. We'll always see the van during the day. So I would tend to say 2 liters is gonna be enough. So unless you find a really pretty bigger van.
I know.
I,
And I tend to stow things in a fanny pack that I wear on my belly. Is that a good idea? I've read some things about theft and people having things cut off their body in Italy. What's up with that?
yeah, I'm not a fan of the belly bag craze, and it is something that pilgrims do. And the theory is you want to have access to stuff really easily. I always have my phone in my hand, usually making notes, and I, other than chapstick, I don't have anything else I need quick access to. So, and a belly bag does brand you as a tourist. So if you were in big cities, you'll be spotted right away. But Americans are different from Italians. They know you're a tourist anyway. I'm different, and they know I'm not Italian. Um, so I think it's really your preference. If you have stuff you need to get to during the walk, then bring it. I personally have not had the need for that. My sister, who I love, she has a giant, and I don't know what she puts in them. So if it's comfortable for you, you should do it. And you don't have to work when you're in a city. But by the way, I would say once we're out of Florence, we will not see tourists, quote tourists, for a couple of weeks. That's how remote we are. So if your worry is about your back or your belly bag being cut off, most of the time we're not in that kind of area.
Thank you.
I wish I had answered that better without, mixing the idea of a belly bag. If you
Got it.
do, I promise I won't tease you about it.
Well, I use trekking poles, so my hands are busy. So I can't have my phone in my hand. So it needs to be somewhere. And
Um,
you
yeah,
know,
Yeah.
so
there you go.
I
I'll
usually
probably
have
do-
mine in my, always have pants with pockets that I can have my phone readily available, because I use trekking poles too.
Yeah, like a lot of things with hiking, it comes down to what works for you.
Yeah, and what you're
Yeah.
comfortable with.
Yeah.
And don't let anybody criticize you like I did.
well, you can tease. That's okay. Is it okay for women to wear shorts in churches in Italy, or should we have something to cover up our legs?
Shorts have to be a certain length. The higher up the thigh, the more there are discouraged. Also, shirts, the shoulders need to be covered, and this is enforced in variable ways. The worst I've seen are in Rome and St. Peter's Basilica. Um, but you should have your shoulders covered and you should have your shirts go most of the way to your knees, whether you are male or female, in churches and but then okay, but then is how Italians say okay, va bene. I taught you an Italian phrase. What other questions do you have? One of my favorite parts of this walk is the storytelling. And Patrick has a third order Franciscan. We haven't talked about this, but I'm assuming you will take the storytelling share the joy of that. And Laura, you may want to also. So I'll put together a list and we'll divvy it up and see how much each wants to do. Okay, it's just silence. We're
Oh, Sandy, the bell tower is 414 steps. Good old Google. I knew it was a lot. That's all I remember. It's a lot. Going up to the dome too. It's a lot.
the last time I walked it was with a guy that had just had heart surgery. He made it all the way up.
Make it up.
Yeah.
The climb.
It's a great walk. I remember the number wrong. 414 is way more impressive. Okay, so my job is to start a WhatsApp group. And is there anyone that is not on WhatsApp right now? Okay, okay. Susan, okay. Um, if you would go ahead, it's free. Just down there on your connected to your main phone or your cell phone number is fine. And I'll use whichever one I have and see if I can connect you. So I'll do that tonight before I forget. Anything else?
So, given, September could still be hot, should we worry about heat exhaustion? Or will we be up in the mountains and trees and it'll be shaded enough?
You should worry about that. We had that issue with one woman last year. So, yes, it's an issue. And that's actually an advantage of the umbrella. The hardest day probably will be the day we leave Florence. And and also the good thing about that day is you are pretty well hydrated at that time because you haven't hiked that much. But a way to protect yourself from heat exhaustion to be really well hydrated. It takes about 3 days after you have depleted and are near dehydration to rehydrate. So, I mean, I can't say this to you, but if I were you, I would keep the drinking down while influenced and keep the acid liquids up. Be really well hydrated the first day and then drink every hour and try to go to a minimum of 2 liters a day. And, uh, and that will help. And remember, if you feel weak or dizzy and you feel like you might be getting heat exhaustion, call out. We'll have the van come and pick you up. No issue. That's what it's for.
Yeah, I mean, I can
I-
see like here in Denver, it's been in the 90s quite a bit. And on some of my longer walks, I'll definitely feel pretty crummy afterwards. And I think that's, a little bit of dehydration and heat exhaustion.
Yeah, and it's better to start early and then try to catch up later. So like Stanley said, keep drinking. Even if
Yeah.
you're not really thirsty, have a little bit.
Yeah,
And
and
I highly recommend electrolytes too.
Yeah.
that's right. You can buy packets of magnesium and potassium at the pharmacies here, and just put one of those packets in 500 milliliters of water every day. That's a good way to keep your electrolytes up. Good question. Okay. So we will continue to engage in this conversation via WhatsApp over the next month now that we've met each other. And let me tell you, this looks like a pretty awesome group. Professionals, smart, articulate. It can keep us on our toes, I can tell. We can have a great time. We walk. It's an amazing walk.
Both of them we have.
Okay,
Cool.
I'm going to
It-
turn off record.